Do you ever sit down to work and feel like your attention simply walks out of the room, leaving you scrolling, thinking about snacks, or replaying a conversation from yesterday? That sudden, almost traitorous drift of focus is not a moral failing or laziness. It's a predictable pattern your brain uses to protect itself from discomfort, novelty, or boredom. In this video, you'll learn what actually steals your attention, why your willpower is not the real problem, and a practical, science-informed toolkit to get your attention back so you can do what matters without burning out. Imagine attention as a limited currency, but one that your brain spends automatically on anything that signals immediate reward or threat. Evolution built systems that prioritize novelty, surprise, and social cues because those once meant survival. Today, those same systems treat every ping, headline, or internal worry as a tiny emergency, and they keep pulling your focus away. Understanding that helps. You stop blaming yourself and get curious about the mechanics. First, what are the main players that betray your attention? There are three useful metaphors: the scout, the sentinel, and the executive. The scout is the part of your brain that wanders, what scientists call the default mode network, and it generates ideas, memories, and that inner commentary that rehearses what to say in a text. The sentinel is the salience network, the alarm system that reacts to sudden changes, notifications, or anything emotionally charged. The executive is the frontoparietal network that does focused work and resists distraction. The scout and sentinel are quick, energy efficient, and noisy. The executive is slower, energy hungry, but necessary for deep tasks. When your environment is noisy or your goals are vague, the scout and sentinel win. So the problem isn't that your executive is weak, it's that it's constantly being summoned to fight low-priority battles. The good news is you can change the battlefield and train the executive to win more often. Here is a clear roadmap. A toolkit of interventions that are practical, immediate, and cumulative. 1. Reduce needless salience. Treat your environment like a neutral, low-drama zone. Notifications, badges, autoplay, and colorful icons are attention magnets. Turn off non-essential notifications. Remove social apps from your home screen. Use grayscale on your phone. And put your devices in another room when you need deep focus. These small frictions are not willpower hacks. They are structural changes that keep the sentinel from being constantly triggered. 2. Define the target with surgical precision. Your brain needs a clear aim. Instead of work on project write 300 words on section 2 about cognitive bias by 10:15. Specific targets convert vague goals into actionable commands that the executive can hold in working memory. Use implementation intentions. An if-then plan like, if I sit at my desk at 9 o'clock, then I will work in 25-minute blocks with a 2-minute walk between blocks. This simple formula offloads the decision-making that otherwise burns attention. 3. Time box, don't multitask. The myth of multitasking is that it saves time. It doesn't. Switching costs are expensive. Time boxing, allocating fixed blocks for single tasks, creates predictable windows for the executive to operate. Use 50/10 or the Pomodoro 25/5 depending on the task's depth. During the box, treat interruptions as forbidden. Communicate your blocks to collaborators and use visible cues, like a small red card on your desk or a do not interrupt status. 4. Build attention muscles with micro-practice. Like any skill, attention improves with consistent exercise. Start with brief meditation or focused breathing for 5 minutes a day, gradually increasing duration. A simple exercise: pick a neutral object, set a 3-minute timer, and notice whenever your mind wanders. Gently return it. Don't judge the wander. Counting returns is the exercise. This trains the executive and reduces the power of the scout's wandering. 5. Use reward scaffolding. The brain responds to rewards. Create immediate small incentives for focused work, permissions to take a walk, a favorite coffee, or a 10-minute reading break after a completed block. Pairing difficult work with inevitable small rewards makes focus more attractive and helps align short-term incentives with long-term goals. 6. Manage cognitive load and decision fatigue. Your executive is finite and depletes with choices. Reduce trivial decisions in your day. Standardize meals. Automate routine tasks. Prepare a simple morning ritual, so the executive reserves capacity for important work. If you must plan decisions, schedule them for when your mental energy is highest, often in the morning. 7. Use environmental anchors and cues. Place objects that cue deep work in your workspace. An analog notebook, a specific mug, a non-distracting playlist. The brain associates the cue with the desired state over time, making it easier to enter focused modes. 8. Practice attention contracts and social accountability. Tell one person what you will do and when, and set a measurable deliverable. Public commitments shift the brain's salience landscape. Suddenly, keeping your word to someone else becomes a motivational lever. 9. Respect attention cycles and schedule rest. Focus is not a straight line. It comes in pulses. Track the times of day when you feel most alert and schedule deep tasks then. Between long focus sessions, do restorative activities that do not tax attention. Short walks, eye rest, or simple manual tasks that allow the mind to recover. 10. Reclaim novelty safely. When the brain craves novelty, give it safe options. Short creative breaks, learning a new but small skill, or a 10-minute exploration block where you allow curiosity. This reduces the scout's pull during focus blocks because it has a promised outlet. Now let's combine these into a simple, implementable 7-day reset you can use starting tomorrow. Day 1. Audit and remove. Spend 30 minutes removing non-essential notifications, uninstalling one app, and moving your phone out of reach during focused work. Day 2. Define concrete targets. Write 3 specific goals with time boxes for the next day, using if-then plans. Day 3. Tiny practice. Do 3 sessions of focused breathing or a 3-minute object-focused exercise. Day 4. Create visible cues and a deep work kit, notebook, pen, water, and a timer. Day 5. Add reward scaffolding. Decide one small immediate reward after each completed block. Day 6. Try social accountability. Tell one trusted person your plan and time. Day 7. Wrap and refine. Review what worked, which times of day were best, and set a repeating weekly schedule. Alongside these behavioral steps, a few mental reframes will keep you compassionate and consistent. First, reframe distraction as a system, not a character flaw. When you fail to focus, ask which rule or cue did I neglect, rather than what's wrong with me. Second, adopt a 2-minute restart rule. If you find you've drifted, don't spiral. Note, take 2 deep breaths and restart the last 30 seconds of work. This reduces the attention residue effect, the leftover thoughts from prior tasks that contaminate your focus. Third, treat rest as strategy, not laziness. Attention recovers with deliberate low-demand rest and with activities that provide gentle novelty. There are also strategic productivity tools that honestly help if used thoughtfully. Timer apps for time boxing, website blockers that enforce friction, and minimal music playlists that reduce background salience. But tools are only as good as the habits that surround them. If you're skeptical about meditation or attention exercises, think of them as strength training for your focus. Small, repetitive, and cumulative. 2 minutes a day will not feel transformative, but 2 minutes a day, every day for 3 months, will change your baseline capacity. Finally, a short troubleshooting guide for common situations. If you feel overwhelmed, split the task into the smallest possible next action and schedule a 15-minute block to start. Often starting reduces the anxiety loop. If notifications are the enemy, remove the badge counters and hide the apps. If social obligation pulls you, use pre-written responses like, "I'm heads down until 11:30. We'll reply then" to reduce reactive checking. Attention isn't about heroic willpower. It's about building structures, habits, and small rituals that channel your brain's automatic systems toward your goals. Think of your environment, your schedule, your rewards, and your tiny attention practices as a single architecture you design for yourself. When that architecture works, the executive doesn't have to fight every battle alone. You get to have the creative, wandering benefits of the scout without letting it hijack your day. If you begin with one change today, turning off a single notification, defining a 25-minute block with a specific deliverable, or doing a 3-minute attention exercise, you'll be starting the slow accumulation that yields big results. If this toolkit helped you notice things about your attention you hadn't before, share it with someone who constantly says, "I can't focus," and try one of the 7-day reset steps together. If you want more practical, evidence-backed tools like this, like, share, and subscribe to Mind Unlocked, your toolkit for better thinking, and consider joining the weekly challenge where we apply one focus practice at a time so you can build attention that lasts without burning out.